What's good, Raider Nation? It's your boy G underscore Money Raiders, aka Galen, coming to you with another edition of My Take. So, as we all know, the draft just ended maybe about 15-20 minutes ago. About a half an hour ago now. So it's like 12:30 my time on the East Coast here in Atlanta, Georgia. So I stayed up and was, able to watch the first round and watch all three picks of who the Raiders picked. Number 4, number 24, and number 27. So I'm going to give you my take of each player, who they picked, and give you the reasoning that I feel the Raiders picked these players, and then give you an overall overlook with the three picks. So without further ado, it's your boy coming to you with my take with the Raiders' first round picks. At number 4, was Clelin Ferrell. Everybody in this right here was kind of jumping over this pick, wondering why the Raiders, picked Clelin Ferrell so high in this draft. And me personally, I felt like that's who, he was the best fit to me for Paul Guenther's defense, because Paul needed a D end. Now, I know everybody wanted to go Josh Allen, and rightfully so. I'm not going to disagree or, argue with you about it. I mean, Josh Allen was a stud just as well. But the thing that we always have to remember when it comes down to picking players and, you picking rookies is you're trying to find the right guy for your system. That's just basically what it boiled down to. So, with Nick Bosa going number 2 to the 49ers, we had no choice but to pick the next best defensive end, which was, in my take, Clelin Ferrell. That's just the way that I looked at it. He fits the mold. He has the right body size. He's got the weight. And everything goes well. He's the defensive end that we've been looking for and that we need. Then if you think about it now, you got Arden Key on one side and Clelin Ferrell on the other side. And then on top of that, with Clelin Ferrell, you can swap him left or right, like the way Denver does a lot of times with Von Miller. You can swap him. And with us getting Trent Brown, he can learn some things of how to be able to get around some of these tackles. He's going to need it. He's going to need the practice. He's going to need the coaching. He's going to need everything to understand how to get around big tackles like a Trent Brown. So getting Clelin was important to me. I wanted Clelin Ferrell, from my take, the way I looked at it, because you need a defensive end edge rusher. So not only is he going to rush the passer, but Clelin, outside of Joey Bosa, was able to set edges better than anybody else. So if you look at that from the perspective, since Joey Bosa was already gone at the number 2 pick, who was the next best defensive end? I understand everybody was on Josh Allen, but Josh Allen is a linebacker who is more suited for 3-4 style type of defense. So, it's kind of the reason why Josh Allen went to the Jaguars. The Jaguars run a 3-4 defense. So, with our style of play, we run a 4-3 defense. So, with that being said, seeing how the way Maurice Hurst came in, PJ Hall came in, looking, very fit and ready to go for this upcoming season, Clelin is going to have to come in and get right to it, just the same way as Arden Key did. So, with us only having 13 sacks total as a team last year, you're going to need somebody to step in. You don't know how many times when we watched the game where Arden Key was right there, but if he was just a little stronger, could he have made it? Yeah, I think he could have. So hopefully Arden Key is getting himself bigger and stronger for this upcoming season to be prepared. So that's my take on Clelin Ferrell, of why the Raiders picked Clelin Ferrell at number 4. And no, I don't believe it was a reach. him being at number 4, because if you stop and you think about it, he was dominating in the championship game against Alabama. And remember, Alabama's offensive line was like masterful. Was like they protected their quarterbacks like it was something easy to do. But then you looked at what Clemson's defensive line did to Alabama's offensive line. Come on, man, and you understand why the top Clemson front 3, basically, I know it was 4, but their 3 main people went in the first round. If you really think about it, that's phenomenal. Think about what that is. The Raiders got one of those people. National championship guy, has a great character, because you got to have character now with a lot of these guys, and with the team going and heading in a different direction and trying to be, show their face and, give a new face to the Raiders coming, soon going to Vegas. It's all about selling tickets for Vegas. So we're trying to bring new guys and new schemes to the team. So that's my reasoning on Clelin Ferrell. We picked up Jacobs. Josh Jacobs. That is a phenomenal pick to me, because for one, Marshawn retired. We only have Jalen Richard and DeAndre Washington still on the squad as far as running backs. I know we got I forgot the guy from the Jets that we picked up. I understand that, but with them picking up Jacobs, that's huge to me. We got a star running back. It's been a while to me since we've had a star running back. I mean, you got to go back to Marcus Allen and Bo Jackson to really think about when we had a star running back. Star. I mean, I know we brought in other players at running back over time, but I'm talking about a clear star at running back, a workhorse that can go all 3 downs, first, second, and third, and protect the quarterback and have hands to come out of the backfield just as well. So that was another good pickup. It was an easy one because we already knew that the Raiders like Josh. So, I mean, it wasn't like a big mystery of what the Raiders saw in him. And when you look back at, Alabama, another person who came from the national championship, knows how to win, knows what winning is like, and knows how to play in a pro-style offense. Nick Saban. I mean, just think about it. So, the third and final pick that we got on 27 was Jonathan Abrams, safety. Now, he's the number 1 safety out there. In the in on everybody's draft board as far as safety goes. This guy is a hitter. If you go back, if you ain't seen any of his highlights, look at his highlights. He can play off the ball, he can play on the line, against the run. He's great with tight ends, so that's going to help with Kelsey in Kansas City. The tight ends in San Diego, LA, my bad, with LA Chargers. And then with now with Denver picking up Font, I mean we're gonna need a safety that's gonna be able to cover those tight ends. Now that takes Carl Joseph off of having to cover those tight ends, because now we have a bigger guy to be able to cover those guys. Yeah, I know we got Joyner and everything as well as a safety, but I think they're gonna use him more in the if they do a lot of nickel, because to me, now that they done picked up the safety, Abrams here, safety from Mississippi. I mean, I'm just looking at it like this. You can have Carl Joseph, Joyner, and Abrams all on the field at one time and not be in a nickel defense. I mean, you can scheme it as a nickel, but really looking at it more as you got 3 safeties on the field. You can disguise it very well All of them tackle well. All of them are hitters. Joyner is a hitter. Whether y'all want to believe it or not, he is a hitter, and he can cover. I know he had an off season this past season, but if I'm not mistaken, I think he had a little bit of injury last season. But for the most part, he still hung in there, and he still got the job done. So overall, I want to just say I like this draft because the fact of the matter of they picked guys who have great character. None of these guys, you didn't hear anything bad about these guys. No character flaws, no nothing. They didn't have any issues. I mean, look what I think Abrams was an MIT guy, if I'm not mistaken. Great character. Joseph, great character. No issues, no problems in Alabama. Cleveland, no issues, no nothing. I mean, y'all think about it. Everybody is always talking about some type of character issue when the Raiders pick certain people. But right here, right now, with the pick, this is who they got. And so overall, I just have to say this to y'all, Raider Nation, because you guys, we're a family. And we see the game, we see how the way they talk about our Raiders, and we see how the way things are being said about the Raiders. They use us as a laughingstock, and we all know this. They use us bad as a laughingstock. So they like to be able to pick on us, and then when we are doing well and things are going well, then it's, oh, look at the Raiders, or then they want to say, oh, football is great when the Raiders are in the playoffs. They want to say things like that. I just want to say this to you guys. We as Raider Nation, we as Raider fans, we have got to stop listening to these people mock drafts. And these guys, are talking heads. Because remember, this is media. Media wants you to watch them and want you to understand what they think when they don't really know who Mike and John are really picking. They want stories. They want to sell you something to get you to watch so that you can come in and then have an input, which then either drives up their ratings or either drives up the talking points on television. So we have to really and truly just start thinking from the perspective now, because with Mike Mayock in as GM, he's more looking at, it's not about the flashy guy. Oh, look at this. Oh, look at that. Oh, we need that person. This person be great. You always, and we should always, remember that the draft is about picking the right player for your system. For your system. Now, we have the second round coming up tomorrow. I will give you my take later on in the evening. To see what we picked in the second round. We got the 35th pick, so we're gonna see how that turns out. So with that being said, Raider Nation, I'm going to give the Raiders an A for this draft, and I'm giving them an A for this draft because they picked great players, they picked great character players, they pick players who either are great family-oriented people or people who've been in championship systems, who know how to win. And we all know we haven't won in a while. Let's keep it 100. You know about your boy. Your boy here is going to always keep it 100 and go always love the Raiders, good or bad, win, lose, or draw. Don't matter. I'm going to give you my take of what I think the Raiders are doing, not doing, and what I think is wrong. So, with that being said, it's your boy G_Money Raiders, aka Galen, giving you my take of our Oakland Raiders in the first round. It's over with. And once again, first round at number 4, we pick up defensive end Clelin Ferrell. Second round, second pick. In the first round at number 24, we got Josh Jacobs. And in the 27th pick in the first round, we end up getting Jonathan Abrams. So, Raider Nation, I'm really, really happy about those 3 picks. Period. I just really am. So I know it's been a while since I've been gone. I came in like last time. Wanted to let you guys know that I'm still around. I'm still watching. I'm watching everybody. I want to give a special shout out to my boy Samoan Raider. I watched the draft on television and I watched his live stream at the same time. And I was like, he was doing a lot of giveaways and stuff, and I'm really happy at all the people who was over there and who won over there. But I want to give him props because he shouted out Mikey Raider, he shouted out Watts Raider, he shouted out Sanjit. You know, those are guys that I look at as well, and I always pay attention to them. And Watts Raider, you know I'm always watching you, buddy. You know, you and I are always, chatting with one another. So, yeah, I want to say to Samoan Raider, man, you did a phenomenal job all the way for all 32 picks in the first round, man. And I just want to say to you, thanks, kudos once again. I was on your line. I told you, hey, I got a channel, so I hope you see this and me shouting you out, all right? So, peace out, Raider Nation. Once again, it's your boy G_Money Raiders, a.k.a. Galen, coming to you another edition of My Take. Peace out.